Hey, good evening, folks. Chris Harris here. Another episode of Voices from the Stables, presented to you by Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. Um, Big time game this week, state championship. I mean, that you know, right off the bat, that just speaks volumes. So go ahead and get started. Had a special guest supposed to be joining me this evening, but unfortunately, had to cancel at the last minute. So unfortunately, got to listen to me run my mouth for about 20, 30 minutes. But let's go and jump into it. We'll start off doing a brief recap of last Friday's win over Northeastern. Highly anticipated game. Actually started off in the worst way possible for Clinton, muffing the opening kickoff, and which led to a early Northeastern touchdown. But Clinton was able to, kind of recover. Mars Williams had a really, really big game, 4 touchdowns. Clinton was able to really establish that ground game, control the clock, limit Northeastern's possessions, and just pretty much keep that explosive offense off the field. Game ended up being a 36-22 victory for Clinton. I mean, big time win. Our first regional championship since 2006. For my Buck Sweet Sports Player of the game, of course, I had to give it to big man of Mars Williams. Those 4 touchdowns really controlling the clock. That ground and pound game. Trench Warrior of the Week, I had to go with 3 guys. All 3 of them kind of went, both ways for us. Did big time work in the trenches. Josiah Dwyer, Jameek Sampson, and Nathan Fowler. Like I said, huge on the offensive line, helping blocking all 3. Especially in the second half, defensively, I mean, Jameek and Josiah, all those guys, they really had a big part in pressuring the quarterback, getting multiple sacks. So those 3 are my trench warriors of the week. But go ahead and you know break into what everyone's here for, because this I mean, it doesn't get no bigger than this Clinton versus Reidsville 2-way state championship game. Uh, like I said, for Clinton, it's our first time in the state championship since 2014, which that was a 31-7 defeat, losing to a really good Shelby team back then. But back in the state championship game for the 11th time. A lot of excitement going around town from what I'm seeing on social media. It's going to be a great game. So go ahead and kind of break down our opponent this week. And I mean, our opponent is Reidsville. Reidsville Rams. Their history speaks for itself, man. This will be the 7th time they've been in the state championship game in the last 8 years. That right there alone, I mean, speaks volumes, man. That just shows that culture, that winning mentality that they have up that way. Great. I mean, from everything I've seen, I mean, this elite football team, really good team. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break down a little bit of their information. Uh, they went 14-1, 6-0 in the mid-state 2A. Head coach is Eric Teague. I believe this is his first season. He's the son of legend Jimmy Teague, longtime Reidsville football coach. I mean, just that's coming from a great pedigree there. Uh, they're coming in averaging 41 points per game, allowing only 13. Like I mentioned before, since 2016, this will be their 7th state championship appearance. 5-2 in that span. So go ahead and look at their schedule real quick. How they got here, playoff wise. First round played Madison, beating them 58-0. West Stokes 42-7. Brevard 41-20. Bunker Hill 41-26. And of course, last week that big time matchup against Shelby, which I mean that final score. I mean, you know how good Shelby is, beating them 49-14. And just kind of just doing an overall glimpse of their schedule. I mean, Just an awesome offensive team. Very stout defensively. The highest points they've given up this season are 28. That was the first game of the season to Western Alamance. The only loss of the season came to Eastern Alamance, 19-14. But I know at the time they had a lot of guys out with injuries. And we seen everything I've been seeing like since pretty much everyone they got healthy, they got on. I mean, they're playing their best football at the right time. They really peaked at the right time. And with all their pieces back, they're just a really really dangerous football team and players to watch. Man, now I got notes on them, man. And I mean, almost I basically filled up almost 2 3 pages of just notes on some of their players to watch. Man, this is probably one of the most complete and talented football teams that I've seen in a long time. But just looking at some of their guys to watch offensively, starts with the quarterback Al Lee, 3,467 yards passing, 47 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. Those numbers right there jump off the charts, man. And from what I saw on social media, he's broken the school record. So I mean, that you look at the caliber of quarterbacks that Reidsville's had in the past. I know most recently the kid Penix. I mean, that's just for him to have the school record. I mean, that just shows just the type of player, type of quarterback he is. 3-year starter, career wise. I mean, almost 9,000 yards passing. He's at 8,987 yards, 119 touchdowns, to 20 interceptions. And that's over his 3-year span starting. That's incredible, man. That's definitely a great quarterback. Somebody that we're really gonna have to try to figure out a way to slow down, man. In the running game, running back Jarrell Cobb, number 4, over 1,000 yards rushing, 1,068 yards rushing, 17 touchdowns. For what I saw, just really tough ball carrier runner, man. Yeah, definitely a guy that really gets it done in the red zone. Wide receivers, and man, like I said, this group right here, man, awesome group. And it all starts with number 1, Flipping. Just a guy that can really blow the top off of defense. Somebody that wherever he lines up at, you have to be aware where number 1 is. 871 yards receiving, 12 touchdowns for his career. He's got 3,300 yards receiving, 46 touchdowns. Like I said, just off the charts, man. Definitely a kid that's going to be playing at the next level. Just like I said, speed demon, man. He'll like I said, he'll take the top off of secondary, no problem. Big man, tight end, number 0, Keandre Harrison. 845 yards receiving, 14 touchdowns. He's a 5-star recruit, number 1 tight end in the class of 2026. Over 20 offers right now, and it's probably growing. By the time he's a senior, he'll have an offer from every major college. Trust me, and it doesn't stop there. Amazingly enough, he's also a 4-star basketball prospect and already has offers from ACC schools. Big kid, 6'7", just a matchup nightmare. Red zone target, big man. I mean, fade route, high points to football. I mean, like I said, man, he just the numbers right there speak for itself, man. He's definitely gonna be one to watch. Definitely definitely a kid that's got everything that it takes to be playing at the next level. Moving on. And like I said, it doesn't stop, man. They just got weapons on top of weapons. Number 8, Cam Jones, 1,058 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. Interesting fact, he is the son of former Cummings and UNC wide receiver Dwight Jones, a guy that us Clinton folks are familiar with. Actually had the opportunity to play against him. He beat us, me and my teammates, in the 2006 state championship game. So just coming, that's his son. He's coming from a great pedigree. Uh, Another big target, 6'3", 6'4", basketball player. So he's got that athleticism to really stretch the field and win those 50-50 balls. Moving on, number 15, Deontay Neal, 450 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns. Do not let the stats fool you. He missed a big majority of the season, recovering from injury. Big time playmaker. Just another guy that in space. I mean, if he makes you miss, it's gonna be a big play. And does it on both sides of the ball, but I'll get to it the defensively. Good segue. Go ahead and get into the defense, and I think it starts with number 5, Mr. Paul Weiderman, linebacker. Just immediately stands out when you look at if you go back and look at any replays of Reidsville games, film or anything, immediately jumps off the pit. I mean, if you close your eyes right now and picture what a prototypical, linebacker looks like from the 90s and the early 2000s, that's him. The look in the play, man. He's a gamer. 134 tackles, 11 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks. Shrine Bowl selection. Definitely gonna be playing on Saturdays, man. He definitely somebody. If we're gonna be successful in the running game, definitely somebody we're gonna have to account for. Number 11, Aiden Mansfield, another linebacker, 141 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 1 interception. Number 9, Devin Schreit. You know what's funny? I asked Reidsville fans to help me pronounce this guy's name. I'm still gonna mess it up. Number 9, Devin Shayak. Hopefully I said it right. Another kid that kind of really stood out to me on film. Plays with a lot of energy. Very fast, good tackler. Plays kind of like that DN outside linebacker role. 72 tackles, 77 tackles for loss, 3 sacks. Like I said, another guy that we're really gonna have to put a hat on when it comes to trying to establish our running game. And if we happen to pass, man, that's somebody you got to account for in the pass rush because like I said, he plays with a lot of energy. He's fast. Of course, once again, Harrison playing that defensive end spot. 70 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. So that's just some of the guys that there's other guys they got, man. Like I said, they're a deep, talented football team, but those are just some of the guys that kind of stood out. And looking at their secondary, Flippin, Neal, and Sharp. I mean, all dangerous guys. Like I said, I talked about Neal and Flippin offensively, but like I said, as defensive backs, they're just as dangerous. If you put the ball in the air, I mean, we got to be smart with it because all those guys are dangerous when it comes to interceptions, pick sixes. Like I said, they're just extremely athletic, extremely fast, great instincts. So, like I said, we really got our work cut out for us. Like I said, just a really talented football team, man. Like I said, when you're in the state championship game, 7 out of the last 8 years. I mean, that's just that culture, that program that they got, and I mean, it's really instilled in them kids. And they got some talented guys, man. So, like I said, definitely for Clinton, you got to bring your A game. We'll talk a little bit about the dark horses stuff here. Unfortunately, I do not have any updated stats. Doesn't look like our stats have been updated on Max Preps over the last 2 games, so I don't want to give y'all dated stats. And I really didn't want to bother Coach too much this week. I mean, he's got he's got a state championship game to get ready for, so I ain't really want to mess with him too much. But um, like I said, just a little bit about Dark Horses, coached by head coach Corey Johnson. Um, 15-0, 5-0 in the SAC 6 conference. Let's see, we got here playoff wise. Looking at the schedule, it all started with first round 64-12 victory over Kinston, 56-15 victory over Bedingfield, 42-7 over Southeast Alamance. Nash Central, really good Nash Central team in round 4, beating them 55-32. And of course, last week, a really talented, explosive Northeastern team, beating them 36-22. Just some of our players to watch out for. I mean, passing game, it all starts with quarterback Nadarian Blackwell. I mean, he's a threat to really hurt you with his. He can hurt you with his arm. He can hurt you with his legs. Really established a lot of growth over the last year. Like I said, last year he was more just athlete playing quarterback. This year he's really progressed as far as a passer. Very efficient. Only had to complete 2 passes last week, but hey, he was on the money with both of them. 25 touchdowns for the year versus 1 interception. That, like I said, no matter how much you throw the ball, that you look at that, touchdown to interception ratio, and I mean that's just impressive. Rushing wise, it's gonna be Josiah Robinson and Morris Williams pretty much toting the tater, as our coach likes to say sometimes. Everyone knows about big man of Morris Williams, 6'3", 265, Florida commit. Really shouldered a lot of load for us last week. Just hard to tackle. He just like I said, he's a gamer, man. If any, I want to, it's hard. I don't really like comparing high school kids to NFL players, but I mean, he's got that Derrick Henry type running style. He had one of his touchdowns last week. I mean, it was just a Derrick Henry-esque type run. I mean, spinning to the outside, multiple stiff arms, and busting into the secondary and going in for a touchdown. I mean, that's just the type of just I mean, he's just that type of athlete. And you don't see too many, and I point this out back in the spring, man. You don't see too many guys, 6'3", 265, 270 that can run like him. I mean, he ran the second leg on our track teams, our 4x100 track on that squad. And I mean, speeding past guys, so you don't see, guys his size moving the way he does. So we definitely a big part of the running game, especially since the injury to Josiah McLaurin. Number 4, Josiah Robinson, junior running back, a guy that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. And it's easy to fly under the radar when you're sharing the backfield with Josiah McLaurin and Morris Williams. But I mean, Josiah Robinson in his own right has been, just off the charts this year. And I felt like coming in that he was going to have a really big year. Big time playmaker, over 1,000 yards rushing. I think he's got to be at least 16 touchdowns now. Like I said, these stats haven't been updated, but yeah, that's the running game for us. Receiving wise, it's gonna come down to Jakarion Keenan. He's really emerged as a a go-to wide receiver for us, especially since the McLaurin injury. His last stats was that he was at 538 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. Also, feel like somebody like Landon Pearson. Landon Pearson had a big catch last week from that tight end position. He's been pretty solid for us this year, 5 touchdowns receiving. But I would say if the Killing's going to put the ball in the air, those are just 2 of the guys that definitely going to have to watch out for. And and I can't talk about our offense without mentioning the offensive line. The offensive line has been absolutely outstanding this year. Those guys, especially in the media and in newspapers, you never really get to hear too much about the offensive line. But like I said, if you notice, if you watch any of the interviews, Clint running backs always mention those guys because I mean they've been outstanding this year. Starting with tackle Jameek Sampson, um, Brady Parsons, Dexter Wilson, Connor Boyette, Sam Williams, tight end Landon Pearson when he's on the line blocking our H backs, Ty Morrisley, Morris, Nathan Fowler. Like all these guys have been outstanding when it comes to the running game. Defensively, of course, like I said, it's similar names I mentioned. Man, Morris Williams actually didn't play much defense last week because we, had him. He had to run the ball so much, but other guys were able to step up, and that just shows, the quality of team. Like I said, a lot of people were pretty much making it seem like Clinton's like a 2-man team, and it's we're much deeper than that, man. If you think that all we had was Josiah McLaurin and Amaris Williams, then you clearly haven't been paying attention. Um, Defensively, guys to watch out for: Alex Evans, man. Alex Evans coming from that safety position, uh, sure tackler, hard hitter, man, smart kid. Pretty much been on varsity for 4 years now. He's got that experience, that he's got that leadership quality. Next to Josiah and Amaris, I mean, he's got quite a few uh, college offers, so he'll definitely be playing, watching him play next year on Saturdays. But really good kid. We're gonna need a big game out of him Saturday. Josiah Dwyer, Nathan Fowler on the defensive line. Those guys really always stand out. And like I said, this game right here, pass rush is going to be really important. Last week and I didn't, we know, we don't really mention it much, but last week we didn't have one of our key linebackers, Jaden Williams, man, sophomore. I feel like this kid's got everything it takes to really be big time at the going forward. Like I said, I'm biased, but I feel like next year, this is going to be the best linebacker in two-way football. So remember the name Jaden Williams. Um, Jameek Sampson, whenever he plays, like I say, he starts with fourth on the offensive line, but really played a big role for us in the second half of last week's game. Rush passer, helping stopping the run. So he's going to be big if they, whenever they have to rotate him to the defensive side of the ball. On Keenan, once again, mentioned him on offense as a wide receiver, but also as a defensive back. Man, he's been a really solid player going back to his sophomore year. Somebody who I feel like his recruitment is really going to pick up, you know, after this season, going into the spring, going into his senior year. That's just some of the guys, man, to really watch out for Clinton, man. Going to break into my keys of the game for Clinton. It's gonna be an uphill battle, man. Everything I'm seeing on social media and other places, we're definitely coming into this game as underdogs. Um, there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's a state championship game. You got two great teams. Somebody's gonna be favored, and based off everything I've seen right now, Reidsville is heavily favored, but that's okay. So my keys to the game here. Playing offensively, we got to run the ball, control the tempo of the game. Reidsville's offense is extremely explosive. I think you want to limit their possessions as much as possible. Kind of taking a page out of East Dukeland's playbook last year, worked pretty well for them. But yeah, just got to control the tempo, be physical, um, try to really establish that line, control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Mistake-free football that goes with penalties and turnovers. I talked about this last week, man. Reidsville is a good football team. They're a really good football team. They don't need our help to beat to beat us. Look, why give a team, you can't give a team like that. You can't make really big mistakes against a team this good. Um, like I said, with penalties, we're going to want to come out and run the ball. You don't need unforced errors and penalties, false starts, stuff like that, putting you behind the chains early. You got a 1st and 10 false start. Now you're 1st and 15 for a team that wants to run the ball and go 3 yards in the cloud of dust. That's not gonna work for us. I mean, you're already behind the sticks, and I mean, I'm sure that Reidsville team is expecting us to do what I'm talking about. Try to do what East Duplin did and run the ball. So they're gonna be pinning their ears back. You're gonna have 5 flying in the backfield. You're gonna have 11 flying around the ball. 9. Like I said, you don't want to start in a hole. You want to try to stay on schedule. 4 and 5 yard them to death. Work the clock, drive the field, hopefully come away with points. So turnovers, big time penalties, can't have them, man. I know it's hard to ask for a perfect game, but you almost need a perfect game offensively. Um, Mistake free football. Uh, when a big play's available, man, we got to execute. Like I said, if they're really keying in on the run and we have an opportunity to hit them with a play action pass, or we have a whole break open and a running back has an opportunity to take it to the house, we got to execute. We can't leave points on the field. Can't leave big plays on the field. Just gotta execute. Got to make it happen. We're gonna need them. We're gonna need a couple big plays to really break through and win this game. Flipping over to the defensive side of the ball, pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Ali is the best quarterback we're going to play this year. He's got a ton of weapons. We can't let him just sit back there and be comfortable. You got to beat him up. You got to try to mess up the timing, something, because if you allow him to sit back there and be comfortable, he's going to pick us. He's going to pick us apart. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Even if you play, I mean, the best coverage, eventually, one of these guys is going to find an open spot in the field. So that's why we gotta have a pass rush. Gotta have a pass rush. I mean, even if you're not sacking them, just hurrying them up, trying to force a mistake. Uh, uh, Pretty much bend don't break type mentality in the secondary. Like I said, they got so many weapons. I think it would be unreasonable for me to be like, we got to shut them down completely now. No, that's not going to happen. I just don't see that happening. Um, we're gonna give up some plays, but just like last week, you want to try to keep that stuff in front of you. Make your tackles in space. Mix up the coverages. I feel like Shelby a couple times went straight man, and against a guy like Flipping, I mean, he just blew their top off. 1-on-1, man versus man. I don't like any matchups with him 1-on-1 like that. So you want to try to, I guess, I'm gonna say mix up the coverages between man and zone. Uh, yeah, just like I said, man, just try not to give up the explosive play. Teams like this, they really feed off, the big play, the explosive plays. And you don't want the momentum to really, shift in their favor that like that. For my DBs, short term memory. You're gonna give up plays, man. You're gonna give up catches. Don't get down on yourself. Don't hang your head. Don't let one big play in the first quarter beat you for the next 3 quarters. Keep your head in the game. Short term memory. Next play, next rep. My last one, man, just got to play smart. Um, we had a couple of unforced, just bad penalties, man. It was one last week where we had an interception, uh, ran it back, but unfortunately we had a roughing the passer call. We had a couple of those this year, and you just gotta be smart. I know. I mean, I love the aggressive nature of our defense. I love that we want to hit people, we want contact, we want to be physical, but you got to be smart because, like I said, uh, a penalty like this against a lesser team, just a minor inconvenience. In a game like this could be that could be the difference between winning and losing. So we just got to play smart. There's a couple times also just little stuff like lining up offside, stuff like that. Like I said, I understand. I love the aggressive nature. I love that we want to get after it, but we gotta play smart. Gotta play smart, especially in a game like this. But and still still something from Coach Jeff Sava, man. Uh, who's gonna make that game changing play? Games like this, I mean, going back 10, 15, 20 years from now, we're going to be talking about, okay, man, you remember this play right here? Who's going to make that game changing play for us? Uh, we think about Willie Parker's run against Shelby. Think about Herbert Dixon plays against versus Cummins, Jamel Henry versus Lincolnton. Who's going to make that game changing play to really change the game and something we're talking about, years from now. I mean, it's a state championship game. You're going against a really good team. These are the things right here that's gonna, make or break you. But ultimately, just my opinion, man. I'm thinking. I mean, I feel like the game could be decided really on just a really big turnover or special teams play, whether it's a big time return or a block punt. I'm looking at last year's game against East Duplin. One of the biggest plays of the game, and I think was really the game changer was that blocked field goal return for a touchdown. I mean, that right there just, really swung momentum and kind of really gave East Duplin, you know, that last little push to, get them over the edge. And like I said, they also had that turnover late in the game. So just stuff like that is where, Clem's really gonna have to seize their opportunities, seize their moments, and hopefully, just do enough to really beat a really, really, really good Reidsville team. One thing we can't do, and some of the guys were talking about this on the forums, man, we can't fall behind early. I feel like a two-score, lead, you know, early for Reidsville would be a death sentence for Clinton because it will really kind of get us out of what, I feel like we're going in there wanting to try to do. But yeah, definitely. Like I said, we've had some adversity this year, in the last couple of weeks, and we fought for. We came back from a two-score deficit against Nash Central, had an early deficit last week against Northeastern. But I feel like this Reidsville team's different, man. You don't want to give them a leg up. I feel like and we definitely can't start the game out like we did last week, man. Um, yeah, just really, really looking forward to it. Like I said, two blue blood programs going at it. First time we played them since 1998. 98 games, a game that still gets talked about. Um, I mean, that was a really, really good Clinton team, really good Reidsville team. Fortunately, like I was talking about, man, one of the deciding factors was turnovers, man. For what I remember, Clinton, we had multiple turnovers in side scoring position. So, and I think I missed extra points. So stuff like that, man, it really comes back to bite you in big games like this. So that's why I talked about, pretty much we gotta do our best to try to play mistake-free football. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the game. I'm really like I said, I believe in my boy. I believe in them. I believe in them, man. You know, we we've come a long way since last season. The way we lost last year, I think has been a real driving force for the team this season. The kids are focused. Joe Bryant from High School OT during the interview last week was talking about how the Clean kids were happy to win the Eastern Championship, but they weren't overly excited because they still had this business like focus to them because you know the job's not done. They come into this season with a clear goal. They feel like they were supposed to be here. They're not just happy to be there like some sometimes you get to a championship game, you just have to get there. But nah, these guys have a clear goal in mind, and they're focused, they're ready. Um, I can only imagine, the mood back in Clinton right now. State championship week is always a special week. Uh, Something that these kids are going to remember for the rest of their lives, man. I still remember mine's. Um, if I'm a big eater, man. One of the things I can remember is like, man, how the Booster Club they did us right that week, man. We were eating good. So I can only imagine, what the guys got planned from this week as far as uh, you know pregame pregame meals, post practice meals, pep rallies probably going on. Former players coming in talking to the guys. So I mean, it's a really exciting time, man. Really exciting experience. I feel like it's going to be a lot of. I mean, the whole city of Clinton's probably going to be up there in Raleigh this weekend. Uh, just really excited, man. We never got to participate in a state championship game at NC State before. Every other one we've been in was either at Keenan Stadium or at Wake Forest at Grove Stadium. So first time for Clinton participating in state championship at NC State, man. It's gonna be fun, especially for all you state fans, man. Yeah, it's gonna be a really good time. Definitely can't wait. I'm not gonna give a score prediction. I'll be happy. I'll be happy just with a Clinton victory. I don't care if it's 1 point, 3 points, 10 points. As long as we win, come away with that state championship, man. It'll be definitely be a blessing, man. But I'm gonna start wrapping things up, man. Win or lose, this is the last game of the season. For our seniors, I mean, like I said, it's been a pleasure watching you guys grow over the last 4 years. Um, just, I mean, enjoy the moment, take it all in. It's definitely gonna be an experience Friday. I mean, Saturday. For the underclassmen, don't take this moment for granted. Getting to state championships is hard, it's tough. Enjoy it, enjoy the week. You never know when you're gonna get to go have an opportunity to participate in something like this ever again. So definitely enjoy it for the parents, all the fans, supporters, former players, alumni. Man, everybody should make their way to Carter Finley Saturday, 3 p.m. Um, yeah, these kids, these coaches, they worked their butts off this year. They deserve our support. Uh, fill the stadium, fill the stands, cheer loud. Win or lose, definitely. I'm proud of this team, proud of this kid, proud of this program, proud of these coaches. Definitely came a long way in the last 4 years. So yeah, definitely looking forward to it, man. It's gonna be a great game. If you haven't done so, I mean, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook. Different ways I'll be posting updates on the game. If you're not able to make it the game, I know back home in North Carolina they're showing different state championship games on different channels. I don't have all that information with me right now, but I'll post it on the Facebook page for anybody interested. I know Jonathan Griffin and Coach Jeff Sava will be doing the play-by-play. They'll be up in the press box in Carter Finley. Check them out on the Mixler app. Follow Oldies 1170. Those guys do an awesome job with their play-by-play and their commentary. Pretty sure they'll have the games on in the NFHS network as well. So plenty of ways to watch, but the best place to be will be in that stadium, man, with your black and gold on, cheering on Clinton. So definitely looking forward to the game. Definitely looking forward to it, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in and listening. I will have one more episode next week. Just a little, a little post game talk, end of the season episode. So definitely look forward to that, man. But that's all. Great game we got coming up Saturday. I feel like this might be the best game of the weekend. So look forward to it. Clinton versus Reidsville. Once again, man, I'm Chris Harris signing off. Buck Sweet Sports Podcast. Go Dark Horses.